You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
All right. Welcome to the Texas Tennessee podcast. Here with Paul Thorn.
Good to see you.
Yeah, welcome to Memphis. I know Memphis has got a huge part of your story, a part of your history. Kind of. I know that you, as far as your boxing career and all that stuff, but was that kind of your first time being in Memphis way back then, or was it even before that?
The first time I came from Memphis, it was when I was a professional boxer, and they had a place down on Beale Street called the New Daisy Theater.
Yes, sir.
And I had several fights in that theater, and I think I probably fought in that particular place 5 or 6 times, and I won most of my fights, but I lost a few too. And it was really strange when I got through with my boxing career that I actually came back and headlined the New Daisy as a singer.
Yeah.
So it was kind of neat. The New Daisy was my introduction to Memphis, because I fought there and I sang there.
I've been to a bunch of shows there at one point in time. I don't know if they're still rocking and rolling down there or not these days. I really don't know.
Like everything, man, it was a season that will never return. You know, everything's changed now, and to be honest, we had to quit playing down on Beale Street because of the crime. A lot of my fans were afraid to come down there because so many people were getting robbed and killed. So the innocence is lost, you know.
Yeah, it. From what I understand, and I've kind of outgrown that as far as Beale Street in general, but from what I understand, as far as friends of mine that play down there regularly, it's actually turned a corner as far as, you know. But even if you turn a corner, you got to try to get the people back. Yeah, and that's a lot of times not easy.
Nothing lasts forever, man.
Right.
Nothing.
But it's nice to know that there's progress being made anyway.
Yeah, the only championship belt I ever won was I was a Mid-South middleweight champion, and and I won it at the New Daisy. I still got the belt.
Still got it.
Yeah, it's just like a nice little memory, keepsake, you know.
Good deal. But I know you've recorded here too. I mean, you played a lot of shows here in all the different venues. But you've recorded here in town too?
Yeah, I've cut a couple records at Sam Phillips' studio, and you know, I've cut some stuff at Sun, and you know, this is Memphis. This is Memphis, man. It's a musical, it's a magical musical place, and I've got to be a part of it. You know?
Well, you also had the stuff with Fame and the Muscle Shoals area too, which it's really it's cool to me anyway that you at this point in your career you could record wherever you wanted to and do kind of whatever you wanted to do, maybe your whole career, but you pretty much choose to stick to the southern thing. And is that out of convenience because you're close, or just because of the juju that those places have, or?
Well, they're good studios. You know, when I first got signed to anything, I was a staff writer at Fame in Muscle Shoals, and I wrote songs for Rick Hall, and he signed me to an artist deal initially, first thing I ever got signed to, and we cut some tracks, and he pitched it out, and I've still got my rejection letter from Clive Davis, one of the biggest. You know who that is?
Yes, sir.
I still got it. It said, he liked the stuff, but they was just passed on it. So, you know, I've won, like I said, I've won and lost.
Understand.
It'll humble you when you get a rejection letter.
Yeah, but to be fair, they've probably sent out more rejection letters than they have. But still.
They want somebody to look like Donny Osmond, and I wasn't meant to be on the cover of Tiger Beat, you know. You remember that magazine?
I do.
Yeah.
I'll back up to. I got another story I'd like for you to tell. I've heard you say it before, but as far as working in Memphis, somebody that I'm trying to get on this thing, and I think would be a perfect fit is Matt Rossfang. I know you've done some work with Matt before. And
He
things like that.
He produced 2 of my records, and he's really good at what he does.
And he seems to respect the just being authentic and the not trying to it's just it is what it is. It's as far as the music is concerned. That's what it's for. He seems pretty old school as far as I can tell.
One of the albums I did with him, I sent him demos of the songs with just me and my acoustic guitar, and we wound up doing the whole album with me and my acoustic guitar being the foundation of the whole album, and then my musicians played around what I was playing. He had a good ear to hear that when I accompany myself, it works. Yeah,
I'm sure that's also easier to play those songs when you start playing them live too, because you know what I mean. You haven't layered so many things on it to where it's hard to replicate live. When you're doing it like that, you can probably bust them out.
Well, I'm lucky. You
haven't really done that anyways.
I've got a band that is fantastic. Everybody, I'm the weakest musician in the whole group. Everybody in my band is better than me at playing. And I've got like the guitar player I've got right now, Chris Simmons. He was Leon Russell's guitar player, so that tells you the quality of musician he is. And my drummer Jeffrey, he's been playing with me for 28 years. And I say that, and I mean it, because we don't just do a gig here, a gig there. We're doing 120 something shows a year, and I'm 61, and we've been playing together. My band's been together for 3 decades, and at this point, we are completely independent. We don't have a record label. We don't have anything except ourselves. But because of all the touring and the fan base we built, we have a good following pretty much everywhere. And we're not interested in getting a record deal or anything like that, because when you own everything, if you sell a T-shirt, you get the money. If you sell tickets, you get the money. We get it all. And I'm very proud that we've been able to stay completely independent.
How long have you been straight independent? Do you remember?
Since 1999, I think.
Did you have anybody?
Completely independent.
Understand?
Yeah.
Understand. Did you have anybody that kind of helped navigate that as far as ask questions, or were you just kind of dive in?
No, I got a manager. Well, I got a manager. His name's Billy Maddox. You've talked to him.
Yes, sir.
He don't blow his horn, but when I met Billy when I was 17, and we started writing songs together, and I didn't know how to write songs. He was a professional already, and he taught me the craft of songwriting, and when I met him, he had having a lot of success as a songwriter. He wrote a big song that Hank Williams Jr. recorded called "If Heaven Ain't a Lot Like Dixie." He wrote that.
Okay.
And he had a bunch of top 10 hits on singers like T. Graham Brown and Shannon Doe and all this stuff. And I was real fortunate that he became my songwriting partner, but he also became my manager, because all them songs we wrote that got us a publishing deal, we both got to quit our day job.
Okay.
And he owned a Ford dealership, so he was a businessman. So he had all this skill set. And since the age of 17, and I'm 61 now, we have been partners in business since I was 17.
Through the goods and the bads and the
every bit of it. He has seen me at my worst, and he's seen me at my best. And if you get somebody that stays with you your entire life and don't try to rob you, that's a blessing, man.
And the don't try to rob you part.
Yeah.
And they're not leeching off of you. He's working too.
Yeah, and like my keyboard player, before I got my money, my deal and stuff, before my keyboard player was a guy that worked at a local music store named Michael Graham, who turned out to be a genius musician and technical wizard. He's been with me 24 years, you know. So I'm really, I've been lucky that the people I've gotten to work with me are all good people. I ain't had one person go bad, and it's. You got to do your research, you know, because you're living with them people more than you're living with your own family.
Yeah.
And so I ain't gonna. I'm gonna pick good people.
That's one of the things that they always told that stood out to me on my very first in-person interview. A lady named Taylor Honeycutt, and she was talking about they needed a bass player. And she just said, you know, the hang is more important than the skill.
Oh yeah.
And you know, as a fan, I didn't think about that, but as a barroom musician, I've been through tons. Like the guitar player that was supposed to come with me tonight, we've been in a band together for 18, 19 years now, and even in the bar band world, that's crazy. You know,
well,
what
that's
I mean?
awesome.
So,
no, that's good that you can coexist with somebody like that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I can understand. I've played with the people that suck the fun right out of a gig.
And the other secret to our band being able to happily coexist and get along well is every night everybody gets their own hotel room.
Okay.
You know,
Get some space.
Everybody gets their own private room every night, and that's a real big thing because everybody needs some time to themselves.
Especially if you're going to be in the van together the next day for.
Yeah. We travel in one of those Mercedes Sprinters with a trailer in the back. Mm-hmm. We chose to do that rather than get a bus for that reason, because we didn't want to sleep like sardines on top of each other and not be able to sprawl out and have our own time. So instead of having a bus, we all get hotel rooms every night. And so a lot of people that ride on a bus, they have to live completely together all the time. And when they get a shower, they got to take turns going in a hotel room, one shower, next shower, next. That don't work for me.
I understand.
I'm too old to do that.
So it's an expense, but apparently it is well worth it in the, you know, just giving you, it works for y'all.
It is.
It might not work for everyone, but.
It is expense, but it's worth every penny, man. Yeah. And you know, Billy, my manager, he's really good at like getting rooms in bundles and real cheap prices and stuff. And
he's trying to make it as less of a hit as possible.
Yeah, but you know, and the other thing is, even though I'm not a household name, every year that I've been doing this, my audience has grown every single year, and I'm thankful for that because, you know, I've never had a big record company machine behind me, plastering me all over. I've never had that. Everything I've built, me and my team has built from the ground, and it's. I think it's better to get to win 10 fans a night than to gain 1 million in one day.
Well, they'll stay.
You know what I'm saying?
They'll stay.
All the fans I've got have stayed, man, and you know, and there's a lot of reason for that. And one of them I like to think is we put on a good show, but the other thing is when the show's over, I never just leave. I always go out, I sign people's merchandise, I take pictures with them and have a moment with them. And if you do that, they remember it and they'll come back.
I've seen that firsthand with several folks, like BJ Barham with American Aquarium for one, but a guy named Brent Cobb.
I know him.
Brent, he played a show here in town, and he hung around after and took pictures with my son. My son knew one song.
Yeah.
But I'm like made him go with me. I was like, you're gonna enjoy it. I promise you. And afterwards, he, you know, just signed stuff and shook his hand and took pictures with him and all that. From then on, now I hear Brent Cobb's music blasting out of his room on a regular basis.
That's what I'm talking about. It's all about relationships. And sometimes a lot of artists forget that the show is not for you, it's for them.
That's true.
You're working. If you have fun, that's great. But if you ain't having fun, you still got to be a pro and go out there and do your gig. And that has served me well, and I live by that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of gigs, I admit I heard this story on a different interview, but I really would like for you to tell it. Going from your first gig getting heard by a few people and your life kind of you playing shows and things like that with Sting and all of that. Can you tell that story?
Well, I mean, I was working early in my music career. I didn't have a career. I played in a pizza restaurant 2 nights a week with my acoustic guitar, and but with me and Billy was also writing songs during that time and cutting demos and stuff. And Miles Copeland, the manager of Sting and the Police, who was Stuart Copeland's brother, the drummer, got a cassette of mine and Billy's songs and came down to this pizza restaurant in Tupelo, to hear me. And I was up there playing, and then when I took my break, he comes up to me and tells me who he is. And to make a long story short, I got offered a publishing deal and a record deal on A&M Records, and within a couple weeks I was able to quit my day job because they gave me some advance money and stuff. And being a Pentecostal minister's son, I had never been to a concert because it was against our religion to go to anything secular, you know. And so when I quit my day job, a couple weeks after that, I went to the first concert I ever attended was when I opened for Sting in Nashville. And I didn't have a band. It was just me and my guitar, just like in a pizza restaurant, except it was 13,000 people out there. And I went out there, and to be honest, I wasn't that nervous because I grew up singing in church my whole life. So I was comfortable in front of a crowd. And so I did a little 30-minute set opening for Sting, and it went over so well. I'll never forget. I went out and sold, back then CDs was a thing. And so we had our little CD. I went out there and we sold like 600 CDs at the Sting show during intermission. And it started going really well, and I wound up getting a bunch of dates opening for Sting. And then when that played out, this guitar player named Jeff Beck had heard about me through the grapevine, and he asked me to go on tour with him. So I went on tour with Jeff Beck, just me and an acoustic guitar, and it went great. And then I don't mean to keep name dropping, but
that's why I wanted you to tell the story.
And then Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits invited me to go out on his tour, and I did that. And then Bonnie Raitt wanted me to tour with her. I did that.
That's a great pairing.
And then Toby Keith asked me to go out. And so, even though I was the opening act, for all these people, our strategy was we would do the show as the opening act, and none of those people came to see me because I was completely unknown. But what happened is we go back to that same city 6 months later and do our own headlining show, and a lot of those people came to that. And so I've sort of built my audience that way. And to this day, if somebody's got more juice than me, if they sell more tickets than me, I'll be glad to go on first. And but mostly I headline now, and but I'm really that's how I built my audience, man. Shaking hands, blood, sweat, man.
It probably lets you know who your audience is too, though.
It did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out who your audience is and what they want to hear from afar is that would be almost impossible.
Well, at 61, my audience is middle-aged and older people, because the younger generation they haven't lived enough to be able to relate to the stuff I write about. You know, I write about the third and fourth quarter of life. You know.
I'm going blank on his name. You have a song on this latest album with Scotty. Goodness, what is this? Toby Keith's buddy, his writer.
Scotty Emery.
Yes, sir. You have you got some cuts with him also, don't you?
With Toby Keith?
No, with Scotty. Didn't he co-write some songs with you?
Yeah, me and Scotty. Well,
is that where that started? That connection?
What connection?
With you and Scotty and Toby?
the reason I got a tour with Toby Keith is I was in the gym one day working out, and my cell phone rang, and it was Toby Keith.
Okay.
And he said he had gotten my latest CD and really liked it, and asked me to go on tour. That's how it happened.
Is that tour how you met Scotty?
Yeah, I did.
Is that where that relationship started?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. There's a
He's
reason.
got cuts everywhere.
There's a reason Scotty Emmerich was standing by Toby Keith every night, because not taking nothing away from Toby, he was a talented man, but that guy Scotty Emmerich is a freaking songwriting genius, and he's so unassuming. He looks like a guy that's standing in front of a convenience store wanting to bum a cigarette. He's just that guy.
Right.
And but he's a musical genius, and he's had so many songs recorded by Toby, and Toby and Scotty. Let's just say Toby needed Scotty to help him write them songs.
It makes sense.
Yeah, he that guy's a genius.
But
man.
you could tell they were buddies too.
They were, yeah.
You could tell that through, even from just from seeing concerts or anything.
Scotty Emmerich is a monster talent.
Yeah.
He is incredible.
Well, I wanted to point out that your social stuff that you've been doing. I know a lot of artists don't necessarily care to do the videos and stuff on TikTok and all of that, but I appreciate those things, and I try to, any artist that comes on here and I try to point out, like, hey man, like, think about it from the fan side, to where, if I don't know who your favorite would have been at 14, but if you would have had a chance to see inside their life a minute at a time, you would have ate that shit up, you know what I mean? And so just to be able to see, you don't really know them necessarily, but it's little nuggets, and I like that stuff.
Well, about a year ago, I hired a guy to teach me how to do stuff on social media, and I started doing it. And my fans are older fans, so most of my followers are actually on Facebook.
Understand.
And then there's a little bit younger generation that likes Instagram, but TikTok is just like,
right.
It's really hard to get any traction on TikTok, because you can put the greatest song ever written up, but then when they got a girl working in a coffee shop in a bikini, you can't compete with that. You can't.
No.
So, but yeah, my social media has really helped build my audience in the last year or so, because I really started posting every day, and I try to make it something. It could be something mundane, like this afternoon. I gave the viewers a quick look at my hotel room, and that may sound silly, but it ain't to them, because they're thinking, I wonder where they stay. And
right.
so I literally said, this is a bar of Dove soap by the sink, and I said, oh, and here's some makeup remover if you need it. Oh, look over here, and people they love it. And I just try to give them a little glimpse of what my life is like, and in a way, they start to feel like they know you, and they do. Then you are letting them know you a little bit
at a time.
Yeah, you can't tell everything. Nobody can.
Right.
But I try to keep it fun and lighthearted, and I don't.
Well, you've come up in conversation with somebody that's helped me out and been extremely cool to me. It's Adam Hood, and you come up in conversation with me and him as far as just liking what you're doing, and that you're able to do it, and it seems it's genuine.
Some people are not comfortable doing it.
Right.
They're too worried about being cool. But just be yourself. Be yourself, and if the real you is good, people will see it, and they'll gravitate toward it. And I'm not blowing up anything, but just in the last year, I've gained 100. Just in the last year, I've gained another 100,000 followers in a year, and so that may not be much to Beyonce, but it's a lot to me.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? And those people, every single night, people are coming to me and saying
cool.
They say we can't wait to see your next video. We said we look for it every morning, and so that's a tool I can use. You know, and I'll show them my little silly side, but I also I'm trying to herd them to the show because in today's world. They ain't no more CDs. That's gone. And so all you can really make your money off of is touring and merchandise. And so those are the two things I'm doing. And thank God I own it all. You know, because you see a lot of these young artists getting signed to record deals and stuff, and they got this new structure they have. I can't remember the name of it. It's where the record company owns everything. They get a piece of your show money. They get a piece of they get it all. Except you get put on per diem, and they get but they take your show money, they take your merchandise money, they take all that stuff because they got this little shell game where they trick you, and they think they jack all the prices on the things that they spend on you. And they keep you in perpetual debt. And there's a lot of these artists that you see them everywhere, and a lot of them are just barely getting by because these record companies have told them that how much they owe them, and they take it all.
And then they're stuck.
And then take it all. You know? And it's brutal.
Luckily, I see a lot of a lot of people that I'm a fan of. They've gotten to the point where they can own their stuff. You know what I mean? And it's cool. As a fan, I'm glad to see that for them. A lot of guys, like we mentioned, Adam Hood and Brent Cobb, and those guys like that. American Aquarium, they own their stuff too, and
that's good.
All of them probably have been through the other part and finally are to the point where they can be proud to own it like that. I kind of skipped over this at a time, but I'd like to know my first concert. You mentioned yours. My first concert ever was here in Memphis at a fair, and it was Sawyer Brown. All right, but this was before they did Mission Temple. But how did Sawyer Brown end up cutting Mission Temple?
Well, once again,
they just found it.
No, a guy that was friends with Mark Miller had my CD, which was called Mission Temple Fireworks Stand, and he played it for Mark Miller, and Mark Miller loved it, and they recorded it, and they actually wound up cutting like 6 of my songs. And one of them was a song called 800-Pound Jesus, which got Christian Country Song of the Year. And so I had a bunch of good success with those guys. And everything, I've never pursued getting cuts on other people. It just happened organically. And, Toby cut one of my songs.
And they didn't cut it, or as far as that song is, they didn't go too far from...
No, they did a good job.
It's a Sawyer Brown song, but it's you know what I mean. It's their sound, but they didn't go too far from you.
That was a magical time for me as a songwriter because I was getting a lot of cuts. I got cuts on people as diverse as I got one of my songs recorded by Jerry Jeff Walker and different ones, and Shenandoah. They cut one of my songs, and but now the guard has changed because. If you see like on a country music television channel, if you ever watch it, it's when the song is over, they'll put the songwriter down at the very, and it's where it used to be either one person wrote it or two person. It'd be like 6 people, 5 and 6 people wrote it, and it's 9 out of 10. It's just garbage. It's just formulaic. Okay, we got to get a truck in there. We got to get. She's got to have her feet on the dash in one line, and and if a girl put her feet on my dash, I say I just armor all this dash. Get your feet down, But it seems like it's just so. I hate to use a word. It's just dumb.
No, it is watered down.
It's just dumb, man, and it's whereas a A&R representative used to have to go out and find talent. That was that person's job. But now talent's not required. It's just not required because they can. If you can't sing, they can tune your vocal up. They can even tune your vocal up live. So it doesn't matter. Talent has been taken out of the equation. But there are great artists out there. Don't get me wrong. But they took a wrong turn when they got into this, what they're doing now.
Well, it does suck as far as cuts for you guys and things like that.
Yeah, because great songs ain't required no more.
No, it's just or they make their own songs within their own factory and use their own stuff. They don't have to outsource it. Nobody gets a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
I've honestly, I wouldn't know if country radio sucks or not these days. I haven't listened in so long. You know what I mean? They lost me a long time ago. But luckily, there's plenty of guys like you and a bunch of folks that have been on this podcast that they're able to have a substantial a career playing music, doing something they want to do. They might not play a stadium, but they're able to play 100 to 200 dates a year and make a living and feed their family and do what they want to do, and they got their friends and they got their fans, and
I can't complain.
All right, this latest album, you have a song, or the title track is "Life is Just a Vapor," right? And you mentioned the John Prine line. That was after he had passed a couple years, at least as far as when that was released.
It was released after he passed. Yeah.
When did you write that?
Well, the last time I did a bunch. I used to open for John. I left that out, but I got to open a lot for John. He would let me come out and open up for him, and the last time I saw him was in the Dominican Republic, and he agreed to sing on my album that Matt Ross Spain recorded, the album before this one, and I was so excited. And then right after I saw him, he died, so he didn't get to sing on my record. But he was just so accommodating. And one night after I opened up for him, he invited me and a few other folks to come to his hotel suite and have some ice cream after the show. And so I went and had ice cream, and he was showing me his Archie comic books because he's big into the Archies.
Okay.
And anyway, and so we had a great time. He's like a child in a man's body, and I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
I mean he's just so sweet. But so the next day, I got on Facebook and I posted that I had an event with John just having ice cream, and right when I posted, his manager called my manager and said that John was getting really overweight and his wife was going to get on his ass for eating ice cream. And so I had to take the post down. And her name was Fiona. And so the very first verse says, me and John Prine was eating ice cream at the DoubleTree Inn, Suite 1019. Don't tell Fiona, she won't understand. Life is a vapor, let's live it while we can. And that song, that experience, that whole song has wound up being a crowd favorite because, like I said, my fans are middle-aged and older people, and they understand how short life is. And man, that song has really started to resonate, and people are singing it as we're singing it because they know it, they listen to it, and that song means a lot to me.
How long was it after when John passed that song? Or did you already have that line before he had passed, or did you put that?
I wrote that song after he passed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were just recalling the moment.
Yeah. And that John Prine thing is only one moment in the song. The whole song, every verse is a moment.
A different moment.
Yeah. It goes like, I took Mama fishing, put our lunch in a sack. We caught a few brim, but we threw them all back. It don't matter that she don't know who I am. Life is a vapor. Let's live while we can. And that's talking about somebody that has like dementia. And my mom coincidentally has dementia, and my dad has Alzheimer's, and they're, it's a brutal disease, and every time I see them, it seems like they're just drifting away a little bit further. And everything in that song is something it's not just imaginary,
Gotcha.
it's coming from a real place, and what I'm saying in it is common to those people out in front.
No doubt.
When I tell that story, they all just, not all, but I see tears going down people's face because they're going through the same thing with their family and stuff.
They might not have had a chance to eat ice cream with John Prine, but they understand the point of you writing that, and and then the rest of it,
That thing
we all know
about taking
somebody
mama fishing and don't know who I am, boy, that
That's
resonates because they all, if they're not going through it with their family, they know somebody that is.
No doubt about it. Well, I'll wrap this thing up. We'll do a couple rapid fires real quick, and we'll get you out of here.
All right.
I appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I wish you, I hope you get all the views in the world. You might be the next Joe Rogan.
Maybe. Yeah, I've had to do more things to argue about to get, you know how that is. The arguing gets more ratings.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What was I going to ask you? Why at this point in your career, why do you write songs? Those goals change as time goes.
Well, at this point, I've got a lot of songs that's already written, and from now on, I'm only gonna write songs when I feel like I really got something. Like when I came up with "Life Is Just a Vapor," I knew I had something, man, because it was a common thing that everybody could relate to, and I want to have new songs and play some new songs along the way. That's a hard question to answer, actually. But songs are always needed, But as long as I've been doing this, a lot of times it's hard to play a new song for my fans because they have such a history with my songs that they know.
You can't squeeze them.
It's like when you go to a Aerosmith concert, you're waiting on "Walk This Way." You know what I mean? They might say, "Here's a new song," and everybody like looking out the window to go get some popcorn.
We're all guilty.
So I'm kind of in that boat too. So when I write a song, it's gonna have to be one that I think is really gonna resonate. I don't want to write something just to say I wrote something, and I'm constantly keeping my ears and eyes open for those ideas. And so the reason I write is to come up with something that resonates with the people out there in the crowd.
Good deal. If you could have, I know he's got interviews out there where he's done some where he sat down and talked to where he was the one asking questions. But if you started a podcast tomorrow, who's somebody musically that you'd like to have on?
Oh, that's a hard one, man. There's so many. If
Dead or alive?
Elvis Presley, man.
Okay.
Hands down. Yeah, because me and him both live in Tupelo.
No doubt.
And a lot of the churches that Elvis attended are the exact same churches I attended, some of them. And so, I too like a fried peanut butter banana sandwich.
Fair. Fair.
And yeah, there's nobody even close. If I could get anybody, that'd be Elvis Presley. But yeah.
All right, this last question. This last question started as a joke on episode 1, which was just me and some buddies, and now it is a requirement that we ask this. So it's all right if you don't eat them. But Paul, what is your favorite Little Debbie snack?
Oh man, it's gonna have to be Nutty Buddy, man.
Okay.
Nutty Buddy.
All right. Sounds like a good video for you to have on your socials.
Maybe so. I might just make a video of me eating a Nutty Buddy and not say anything, and just write a caption, "You wish you had one."
All right, Paul. Well, I appreciate the time. I can't wait for the show. I'll be sticking around. So
lower your expectations, and then you'll like it.
Oh. All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.